Was it about 7 years ago? That would make it 2016? Yeah, I think.
2015. 2015. I know because I was working for a specific company at that time. 2015.
So we hadn't done anything previously before, really. We'd been to a couple of other kind of services the same, didn't get a real good feel for the people that worked there. But when we met Henry, it was completely the opposite kind of feel with him. He was really invested, he knew his stuff, really enthusiastic, had all the answers that I had questions for. Like, I went literally, here's 100 questions to convince me that this is going to work for me, because I need to be confident in what I'm doing. I need you to educate me. So he's always had the answers, always had the time for me, always been professional. So everything that I wasn't getting from the other services, I was getting from Henry straight away, straight off the bat. And he's always maintained that. And that's really driven us to bring other customers to him, and they say the same thing about him as well. So I think that's just something really with his character, with the business's character as well, that we don't get elsewhere.
And we have goals ourselves, and the fact that he helps us get there in very clear step-by-step form. It makes it easier for us to understand, which we knew none of this before we met him. We knew nothing. Just to invest in maybe one property. We didn't know what potential was. We didn't know what it required. Like I said, we knew nothing. So we had no idea we had a huge potential to invest. And, first thing off the bat, we invested into properties straight away. So
we knew that working and getting a regular wage really wasn't enough to drive what we want out of retirement and out of the future.
We don't want the pension.
We just wanted to try and see what was possible, and kept on digging and sort of came out with a plan in the end. Heaps of information from Henry that we just, to be honest, we didn't get anywhere else. It was with other companies, it was like, yeah, this is what we'll give you, give us the money and leave us alone kind of situation.
So it felt like in the others, we felt like we had to compete for attention. But with Henry, he was focused. He gave us attention like we were the only thing in his life. Exactly what we were planning to achieve, to have a really good retirement plan. We knew that pension was not going to cover our costs at the end of the day. We needed something for our child when she's older. We had plans to move somewhere nice and, the ideal life. But we knew that our jobs were not going to cover that. And people I've met with regular jobs, just like me, and I'm like, they're earning the same money as us, but that person has 6 properties, that person has 8 properties. I'm like, how are they doing that? I've always wanted that. We're working on the 7th.
No, we had no idea. We had no idea at the start.
We were hard savers. We saved, and this is not going anywhere.
The rent's coming in, the tax rebates, all the different funds that come in. So that really helps out with building that down. Then the other thing as well is we're taking advantage of the equity that we've grown out of that, and the equity that we've grown out of the investments as well. So it just builds on top of each other.
Yeah.
I think information and knowledge is a big piece, but just always having the time, having the right mindset, having to explain something 5 different ways 100 times, it's never too big a deal. So it's always welcoming and encouraging to have that kind of interaction. We just feel like it's more about us than about the company. When we talk, just shop about what we're doing regular reviews, saying, hey, we've got this new vision, how does that fit into things? All that sort of thing really helps us out. Well, as the one that was super skeptical, having to have answers for everything, basically prove to me that it's worth the risk. You can't gain anything unless you invest like wholeheartedly in it. It's not hard to do it. You're just taking the educated risks, investing in the right area, and really get on the train to do it. If you do nothing, you get nothing. It hasn't been hard for us. We haven't had to really sacrifice for anything. Just learn and listen and show maybe a bit of courage.
And ask as many questions as you can to help alleviate the anxiety and the skepticism and, you know, the doubt.
Occasionally he'll reach out to us. We do a regular review at that time. We do a goal review every now and again. Make sure that things are keeping on track. We've never been in a position really where, hey, we've had to alter course in our plans because of something problematic. It's always been, well, let's tweak it because we've got a new goal or something like that. It's plenty for what we're doing. No, I wouldn't say that.
I thought we would have had to.
I would have, yeah. Initially, I thought, here we go, we're going to have to make lots of sacrifices, but it really hasn't been like that. You do a bit of investigation about what you want, where you want to invest, making those right kind of decisions made things easy. So life has been pretty easy, really. All the things that I was stressing about day in, day out, coming into doing the first one, hasn't really been any kind of issue for us. It was all about, for me, take the initial risk, invest, and get going. And then it's been pretty easy from there. That we have, losing the house, I don't know how much I'm going to get into, what kind of troubles am I going to have, how much paperwork is it, how do I know that these people are going to look after me, all those kinds of things.
A lot of people have this perception that kind of perception, obviously because they know nothing or they don't have an idea of what's involved, but a lot of it as well is commitment. It's like, oh, does that mean I have to be committed to this and commit to signing all this paper, commit to spending time learning this, and I tell them, and I tell a lot of my friends this. I say, you spend an hour watching Netflix or whatever, or you can spend an hour learning how you make 500 to $1 million in 10 years. Which would you choose? You know, I mean, that's an easy decision to make for me. Yeah, find the right help, and lucky for us, we found the right help with the right answers, the answers that we wanted to hear, the right treatments, because we've met people with a lot of knowledge, but the wrong attitude. Yeah. Like, you know, we felt like, you don't have enough money, or, you know, we're not prioritized in any sense. So I get that. Yeah.
So for now, back when I started, if you looked at the numbers of what you need to retire, it seemed like so much money that we had to find from somewhere. But I would say right now we're well ahead of the game on that, and we really haven't, apart from understanding what we're committing to with all the paperwork and that sort of thing, I haven't really had to work that hard to it. We haven't had to sacrifice. So if we didn't start 7 years ago, we would not be in the position that we're in
Yeah.
today.